So welcome to the Node.js Node API team meeting for March 30th, not March, May 30th, 2025. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the project board. Does anybody have any announcements or things they'd like to share before we dive into that? If not, okay, I will share my screen. And that was this one, okay. So we can go to, okay, let's go over to closed, done. Anything on the done side of things that we should talk about?
I think we can have a quick look at the last item in the down column.
This one right here. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, before the author replied on the bottom, I think if this was a designed as intended issue.
okay,
Like the author is trying to mix up the V8 external and anti-external API,
yeah,
which was never designed to be that way. So they were never designed to be compatible. Um, But the issue is that the author replied on this thread. Would you mind to scroll down a bit?
right. So yeah, I can see like Kevin, I that makes sense to me. Like it is, yeah, we never promised that. And if we try and promise things like that, we're gonna run into, well, just not part of the what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And if you would you mind scrolling down a bit
Sorry,
on
yeah,
the latest, yeah, on the latest reply? I think it's kind of related to what Vladimir is doing right now.
right.
He also is actually trying to embed Node.js into their use case, and it seems like they are trying to mix up the embedder and the add-on so that they can cooperate together. And
Right.
basically that, so the embedder can only use V8 API because right now have we don't have any API for embedders, and that's why they are trying to mix up V8 external and external in this case. I'm wondering if Vladimir has any um, thoughts on this? Because from Radomir's current pull request on the C embedding API, I didn't find any like I didn't find any um interoperational API between V8 and API, but I don't know if it's really a important use case for us to support in the C embedding API, but I think it might be a good thing to bring up in this conversation to see how people think about this.
But I think it's worth at least telling them that there are efforts to have an embedding API, right? Because like if I'm understanding correctly, what they're saying is like, I want to do embedding, and there didn't seem to be any way to do that with Node API. So
Yeah,
it's not necessarily about the interoperability. It's just
yeah,
like,
true.
so like if we say, oh, well, wait a second, yeah, we understand to support embedding in a way that would be compatible, right?
Yeah, so if there is C embedding API available and they are using C embedding API and they can just use an API to talk to their add-on. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, like I think so I put like this is full API and this is minimal. I think that like if that you covers their use case, then that's probably good. If not, like I think the interoperability is that's what I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
we would want to get into. It may not be impossible. Like I suspect that that being wrapped, even if it's like, okay, if it's not one-to-one, there might be a way to extract it using the V8 APIs or with like hidden knowledge behind the scenes. But that's not necessarily
yeah,
something we want to support, right?
yeah. I kind of agree. That's another layer of support that doesn't have to be part of the current progress to add C embedded API.
I guess a question like which V8 APIs are missing either from Node API or embedding API. Just kind of we interesting to learn scenarios which we may need to address in API. Because we I guess we don't want to expose V8 API. I think we know that V8 API is not API safe, and Node API is kind of one of the main goals to address this.
Yeah, and we want it to work with different runtimes too, right?
Right.
So as soon as we tie it to like the underlying structures, that's kind of broken. But yeah, so I think does this comment make sense? Like that might cover your
Yeah,
question. If they say, well, no, I still doesn't work because of X, then it's
yeah,
something that
sounds
maybe
good.
gives us some information to say, well, okay, we need to do something else. Or if it's just like, well, I want to use specific V8 APIs, well, that's not the use case we want to cover.
Right.
Yeah, it looks to me
Okay.
Looks
looks
good.
good.
I'm deciding this because I think, as Vladimir said, it's we should make it clear. Like we're interested in understanding that means there's a gap in the proposed APIs, right?
Yeah, because it's still work in progress. And
Yeah.
I currently, for example, after thinking through this existing API in my draft, I kind of plan to significantly reduce it. Like, for example, I plan right now to remove completely interop with whatever UV loops and stuff, like a bunch of APIs. I just want to remove.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Yeah, I was definitely thinking we were needed to discuss that. Didn't think it was necessarily going to be in the done already, but that's fine. So we can comment
Yeah,
and
because it was at the first round of discussion, it was closed because apparently it's not something we want to support.
yeah.
But yeah, given that the author brought up the embedding use case, I think yeah, it's to be another issue.
Definitely makes sense. Any other things in done we should chat about? Yeah, just curious on this one. I think. Okay, so I think, I guess it's closed out, but it's one of those things like if the reporter can't really help move it forward, we don't necessarily have volunteers to go and investigate issues that we're not even sure are related to the API. Okay, anyone else in here? Otherwise, I'll move on to as PR. This one I know, Vladimir, I think you've been working with, no, so on the PR, right? Anything to,
So this one, I, I believe I signed off it already. Okay, probably I didn't. I need to look on latest iteration.
okay,
Seems like there are many tests failing
Hmm.
in this
okay.
one.
So let's see here, like, I'll just pick any one of them.
Does not seem to be related.
I mean, it's in the JS native API test, so I
And
got
let's
to think
say
it was caused by it.
Oh, test warning, yes. Must be related.
It may just be something that needs an update to the test, but
yeah, I'm wondering if we really want to add test for build warnings because I mean it's just a build warnings.
Yeah, it's probably kind of some, I don't know but it seems to be all related to this new test which have been written as a part of this PR and
Yeah, I mean, at
hmm.
a quick glance, I think it might be a bit related to the build system that we have on there that kind of different from the GitHub engine, GitHub Actions because we run different tests on there in different environments. So the text is relying on the build system that the test scripts to run the build exactly once. So I think that's the issue here that could make this test unstable. And the issue here is that what we change here is just adding a new warning, and I'm not sure if it's overly making this overly complex to add this text. So yeah, that's my idea because the build system is kind of the invariant on the different environment.
Right, so it's basically we've run somehow we end up with two warnings just because the what's been run.
yeah, and technically I understand what happened. Like we rely on like as we run build, this build putting some stuff in the same log file. So technically, if for whatever reason we just run build twice, we
Yeah,
just end up to be kind of double things in this log file. So technically, we need to have a little bit more reliable way. So which kind of if you just simply try to rebuild this kind of module twice, we should not. Should be all okay. We just need to make sure that we build with different settings.
well, I mean that's fine, right? To to have to have if you build it twice to have two warnings, that's kind of fine.
But this is exactly what this current issue is like. What we do, like if you look inside of zip file, in zip file we effectively just building this module twice. Like one of them we're building with that we suppressing these warnings, another one we don't suppress this warning. And in the end, both builds go to the same log file. What test actually checking is checking if we inside of this log file we see warning only once, right? But now, like, imagine if you, instead of building this module effectively twice, as like we expect, what if we build it 4 times or 6 times as a part of normal build, whatnot?
Yeah,
And now, like, we suddenly have a wrong number of warnings. So I guess we need to have a little bit different criteria. Maybe when we look inside of this log file, looking maybe some specific substring or something. I don't know, something like.
yeah. What I suggest was that would it be too making it too complex by adding this test because it's a warning at build time. Do we really want to test it?
Right, this is being generated when we say like make build.
Yeah,
Okay, and if we say make build again, it may add it to the log file. Yeah,
yeah. It's not a runtime behavior, right?
right.
We want to test it. It's making things more complex, especially when involving with the CI system build and build scripts.
Yeah, and even on some platforms, we may run the tests without building at all, right?
Right.
Right, like
I don't.
go ahead.
I mean, I was just want to say I don't know if we have. I mean, there are so many CI environments.
Yep.
I don't know every of them.
But I know like for Windows, right, we build a binary, but then when we run the tests, those tests actually run on a different machine. So they would never have the log.
Yeah.
So
In that case, this test is limiting how we can run our tests.
right. So I think I'm on the same. I think what you're suggesting is like we just shouldn't like we can't have a test that relies on the building part necessarily. Like if we wanted to have something like this, the test itself should run a build of some should like try and build the add-on itself and capture the output from that. But that's not something I think we do. Like I think we build all the add-ons as an earlier step.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely don't. So proposal like we just remove this test altogether, right? Like
I think that would be low risk, so I would be okay with it.
and just keep whatever we changed inside of JS native API. So technically, effectively the whole PR will be reduced to a single file, like JS native API. We used to do some if devs before we changed. We never tested them before, so technically. It was an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I know it's good to try it out, but yeah, now we can see the challenges.
Right, and now like it's
Yeah.
clear.
Miguel sent a message to me that he will be away for weeks, so we can help them to get this landed after he's back.
Okay, so if I go, I don't know if one of you want to comment on the issue, just saying, hey,
Yeah, I can.
remove the test.
Yeah, I can post.
Okay. Okay, sounds great. Thanks. So progress. Yeah, this one I still haven't looked at. I should actually, I forgot about that. Honestly, I'll have to go take a look. Any of these other ones that we should chat about? I guess this one I could drag into here, right?
I think it's in progress. No? Well, no worries. I think we don't have concrete definitions for each column.
Because we have like the PR and has PR, but then we have
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one. I'm just thinking they
Yeah.
should be together.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. And these others that we should chat about.
Yeah, can we look on this minimal C node embedding API?
Yep.
I believe I don't know. It was recently changed, and I guess if it's all green, we should be. Oh, oops, no green.
Right. So
But
okay. Right. Sorry, I'm gonna go back up to the here.
okay, I was assuming that I only saw like it was another iteration. I didn't look inside, but I was assuming that we
Yeah, it's pretty minimal.
right.
I think
It's
we'll
big.
need a test as well, right?
Say it again.
I think we'll need a test for these new functions in this pull request.
That's a good point.
Yeah, adding test it will be like adding kind of big one of the big chunks like but
Yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, we need to prove that the new function is actually working.
okay, I can do that.
Okay, so you'll comment that, hey, we could use a test and
Right. Yeah, the author said like he's a because he said like he's not so familiar with C++ and he is okay if I can help to get it landed. But
Okay,
in contributing any code. So technically, because we really want to kind of this PR to be kind of a small chunk of my kind of bigger PR. So like
right,
and this test infrastructure, if you remember, like was doing some tricky things about like how inside of the same executable we have different main functions. Remember,
right,
I'm gonna bring just this part and so we can test it.
right. That's a great idea because yeah, and then you can just add your additional tests in the next one. That
Right. So technically, in this case, like this PR will be like a very kind of bare minimum with minimal tests, like minimal APIs and stuff, but it will be kind of a relatively good chunk of work here.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
Okay,
basically,
cool.
is that fair to say? We discussed the Node API team meeting today, and Vladimir, you volunteered to pull the framework for testing from your PR into this one with a basic test.
Yes, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So I believe author opened this branch for me to contribute it.
Okay.
I think it was a comment written there. So
Yeah, okay. No, that definitely is good. Any other ones in here we should take a look at? Okay, and then looking to see maybe at the bottom, or is this? Yeah, this is, I'm looking towards any other new ones. Think there are any? No,
now this is you looking to do. So if you scroll a little bit on the left.
sorry. Oops, I will go back and then. Right, okay, so we were asked. Right, so we've had some discussion back and forth, and there's. Right, this one, actually, where is that PR? Is that? Is the PR? Okay, so sorry, I'm just looking. I'm just thinking we probably landed that, right? Right, we did land that. So basically we should be closing this out. Closing is done, right?
Yeah.
Hey, otherwise I don't see anything else to chat about. Is there any other topics anybody has to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If not, well, thanks for everybody's time and work, and we'll see you in GitHub and next time. Thanks.
Yeah. See you.
Bye.
Talk later.
Bye.